Emily Carter had worked at the Harrington estate for nearly 3 years, quietly completing every task with care and professionalism. The sprawling mansion overlooking the Hudson River was one of the most luxurious homes in New York, hosting celebrities, politicians, and business leaders throughout the year. To everyone else, Emily was simply another maid in a gray uniform, invisible among the staff who prepared the estate for glamorous events. No one knew she returned each evening to a small apartment in Queens, where she cared for her younger brother Ethan, who dreamed of attending medical school. Every extra dollar Emily earned went toward his tuition fund, leaving little for herself. But she never complained on the evening of Daniel Harrington's extravagant engagement celebration. The mansion sparkled beneath thousands of crystal lights. Luxury cars lined the circular driveway, while photographers captured the arrival of high-profile guests. Inside, servers carried silver trays filled with expensive champagne, gourmet seafood, and delicate desserts. Emily moved gracefully through the crowded ballroom, making sure every table remained spotless and every guest received excellent service. She kept her head down, believing the best employees were the ones no one noticed. Daniel Harrington, the billionaire heir to Harrington Industries, greeted guests beside his glamorous fiancée, Vanessa Blake. Vanessa enjoyed every moment of attention, smiling for cameras and accepting endless compliments about her designer gown and diamond engagement ring. She expected everyone in the room to admire only her. When several guests thanked Emily for her polite service and professionalism, Vanessa's expression tightened with jealousy. She believed a maid should never receive praise. During her engagement celebration later that evening, one of the guests accidentally dropped a glass of sparkling water near the grand staircase. Emily quickly rushed over with a towel, cleaning the spill before anyone could slip. Several guests applauded her quick thinking, and one elderly woman even complimented Emily for preventing a dangerous accident. Vanessa noticed the brief applause and interpreted it as attention stolen from her special night. Her smile disappeared as anger quietly replaced her excitement. Determined to embarrass the young maid, Vanessa walked across the ballroom in front of hundreds of guests. The music softened as curious eyes followed her confident steps. Without warning, Vanessa grabbed Emily by the sleeve and accused her of deliberately trying to attract attention. Emily calmly denied the accusation and apologized. Even though she had done nothing wrong, Vanessa ignored her words with a cruel smile. She violently tore the front of Emily's maid uniform. Gasps echoed through the ballroom as the ripped fabric slipped from Emily's shoulder, revealing a long, jagged burn scar stretching across her shoulder and upper chest. The laughter vanished instantly. Conversation stopped. Even Daniel Harrington stared in complete shock, unable to take his eyes off the scar that awakened a memory he had buried for 15 years. The ballroom remained frozen in silence as Daniel Harrington slowly stepped toward Emily. His heartbeat pounded in his ears, while memories he had spent years trying to forget flooded back with startling clarity. The scar across Emily's shoulder was identical to the one he remembered seeing through smoke and flames when he was only 10 years old. He had never forgotten the woman who had carried him out of a burning apartment building before disappearing into the chaos. For years, investigators searched for his mysterious rescuer, but she had never come forward, and eventually, everyone assumed they would never discover her identity. Daniel stopped only a few feet away from Emily, his voice barely above a whisper. "Where did you get that scar?" he asked, his eyes fixed on the mark. Emily looked down, embarrassed by the attention. She gently pulled the torn pieces of her uniform together, trying to cover herself. It happened a long time ago. She answered quietly, "There was a fire in Brooklyn. I was just a teenager." The room became even quieter as every guest leaned closer, sensing something extraordinary was unfolding. Daniel swallowed hard. "Did you save a little boy that night?" he asked, his voice shaking. Emily looked up in surprise, studying his face for several long seconds. Slowly, recognition appeared in her eyes. "You were the frightened boy trapped on the second floor," she said softly. "Your mother was screaming outside, and the stairs had already collapsed. I climbed through a broken window because I heard you crying." She paused, touching the scar gently. "Part of the ceiling fell while I was carrying you out. I was burned, but I managed to get us both outside before the building collapsed." Tears filled Daniel's eyes as the memories became painfully real. Without caring about the hundreds of shocked guests surrounding them, he stepped forward and embraced Emily. "You saved my life," he said, his voice breaking with emotion. "Everything I have today exists because of you. I've searched for you for 15 years. Cameras flashed rapidly as guests witnessed the emotional reunion. Several people wiped tears from their eyes, realizing they had just watched a billionaire thank the woman everyone had ignored only moments earlier. Vanessa stood speechless, her face draining of color. As the reality of her actions settled over the room, she had humiliated the very woman who had once performed an act of incredible courage. Daniel slowly turned toward his fiancée, disappointment replacing the gratitude on his face. "A person's worth isn't measured by expensive clothes or social status," he said firmly. "It's measured by character." He removed the engagement ring from his finger and placed it in Vanessa's trembling hand. "I can't marry someone who looks down on people without knowing their story." The ballroom erupted into stunned whispers as Vanessa realized she had lost everything because she judged a hero by nothing more than a maid's uniform